Alright guys, so my last video was pretty pessimistic. Yeah, I was very tired after a long day at work and staying up all night, and there was just no PSVR in the main show at Sony's E3 conference, so I was a bit disappointed. But after a little bit of time to kind of gather my thoughts and calm down a bit, yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. You know, it's not the end of the world. I do think it was a misstep. I do think it was a bit of a kick in the teeth, though, from Sony, not to even include like a little show reel on their main show. You know, just to say that, you know, we still really care about PSVR because they do have some really cool games in the works for it. And yeah, you know, it just would have been nice to see them kind of be proud of those games. You know, even if it's just a little show reel, just to put in between those big games, because of course they did have other games shown there in between those four big games, and it is going to be make more sense for them to spend time pimping these four big games, because the budgets, I mean, I would not be surprised if the combined budgets of those four big games dwarfs all of the expenditure that they've done on the PSVR headset development and the games for it altogether. It probably wouldn't, you know, it probably would be more that they've spent. So they've got to make a return on that investment. They've got to make sure those big four games sell, and it is easier to impress people with those cutting edge graphics. But yeah, just a little show reel, just to say, you know, we haven't forgot you. We still care about it. But they did have a big PSVR presence at E3, and it makes sense. What they did make sense. You know, they had a lot of booths for people to actually play VR, because of course you can't get a real appreciation for what these games are like to play until you're in the headset. You know, watching the games on a screen, watching a trailer on YouTube or whatever isn't going to get you there. You need to have the headset on to really understand what it's like to play these games. So they know that, and they had a lot of stands for VR games. In fact, they had 14 VR games that they were showing with those, you know, people to actually go and play them. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those games. So there is some really cool games on the horizon for VR. So it's not all doom and gloom. I just think they could have been a bit prouder and just give a nod to it, at least, in the main show. But yeah, so Astro Bot Rescue Mission. Now this is the platformer that has been expanded from that really popular demo that came out at launch, and it just looks like a really cute little platformer. It's got a really innovative way of playing as well, because as well as controlling the little guy, your actual DualShock is part of the game. It's tracked, so you can see it in the game, and you can actually use it to manipulate objects in the world. And you know, other games have done that already, but it's nice to have that connectivity. That's one of the main things VR can give you, is that sense of really being in there in the game. That connectivity with tracked controllers is a big part of that. So Astrobot, I'm really looking forward to that. It looks really good. I mean, hopefully it's a good length. So to do it justice, you know, it looks like, I want to say, am I going to say the word? Am I going to say Mario? Okay, there I said Mario. Okay, I said Mario. But PSVR could do with its own little mascot there, and this is a good one for that, so hopefully that'll do well. Beat Saber is a game that, yeah, we knew was going to come. Apparently, it's stupidly popular. Beat Saber, if you haven't seen it already, is a really simplistic looking game. But it's just so popular. It's been out on PC VR for a while already. That's how we know that it's, you know, critically acclaimed and well thought of in the community. But it's just a rhythm game in which you have lightsabers. So you have these two lightsabers in your hand, and you're just slashing at these blocks that come towards you, and you've got to hit them at the right, you know, in the right direction at the right time, kind of thing. It's a rhythm game. It's Guitar Hero meets Star Wars. I bet you never thought that combination would occur in games, but yeah, apparently really bloody addictive. So I'm really looking forward to, and that's going to be right up my alley. But it's not a big ticket game. It's not a marquee VR game, you know, that will sell headsets. And that's what we kind of were looking for, at least, you know, from Sony, to try and push the VR. But anyway, the next one is Blood and Truth. I talked about that in the last video. That's, yeah, this Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels style game that is, again, being developed from one of the most popular demos that came out at launch for PSVR that again has been expanded into a full game. That was the Heist, of course, and really fucking the Heist is brilliant. If you get a chance to play it, if you haven't already, you should be able to get it for free. I think it's on one of the demo discs. But yeah, really good to see that they've expanded that, and let's hope the writing is on point because it sets the scene as well. It's got a lot of action in it. It's got shooting, kind of light gun style elements to it, but it's also got narrative. And those bits are quite fun in the Heist, so yeah, let's hope the writing is good. Blood and Truth has the potential to really be a system seller. That I've got my eye on that one, definitely. Bow to Blood, I don't believe I know anything about this one, but there you go. Creed, Rise to Glory. Now Creed is going to be the second boxing game on PSVR. The first one was Knockout Kings, is it Knockout League? Knockout something. That was quite obviously took its inspiration from that old NES boxing game that I'm not going to remember the name of. But yeah, that was quite kind of arcadey. Creed is a little bit closer to boxing simulation, in which your movements and the opponent's movements are a little bit more realistic. And you know, that kind of thing. So, but you know, I've played the knockout game, and boxing is a really good fit for VR. Yeah, there's potential for a really good boxing game. So let's hope that one comes out. But again, it's a stopgap game, isn't it? That's a mid-tier game, but it looks all right. So yeah, anyway, Bow to Blood, the one that I just skipped over. Bow to Blood is a really pretty looking game. It's basically a space pirates battle game, is what it is. Yeah, you're flying around in these ships, fighting other ships. Space pirate battle game. It looks alright. Yeah, okay, let's check that out. Anyway, next one is Evasion. Now, I believe this is this the first person shooter? You know, I don't know a lot about some of these games, but they do look impressive. Yeah, I think Evasion is a first person shooter, and that does look really good. I really hope that one lives up to what it looks like in the trailers, because it does look pretty sweet. Shades of Halo, shades of Farpoint, but if it's an accomplished first-person shooter, you can't have too many of those, good ones at least, because that's one of the most popular genres in gaming. So if you want to sell headsets, you're going to need some help. First-person shooters, and of course, PSVR has an advantage over all the other VR headsets in that sense, because it has the aim controller. This thing here. So this makes first-person shooters in VR ridiculous. It's so much fun to actually move your gun around and see the gun in the game. Obviously, it has a skin on it. It doesn't look like this, but you can see it because of the tracking, of course. This is an idiot's guide to VR, apparently. But yeah, just to be able to see it in the game and to look down the sights in-game through your crosshairs that are rendered in-game, and to just do that, man, that's a fun way of gaming. Yeah. So but again, yeah, it's exactly the reason that this is a good way of showing off VR games. So got to give Sony some props for having so many games playable on VR at E3, because that's the best way of really appreciating what they're all about. So Evasion, first-person shooter, that could do well. Firewall Zero Hour, another first-person shooter. This looks like the game that Bravo Team should have been. So yeah, another first-person shooter, and this one's supposed to be really good. Again, surprised they didn't say anything about this in the main show, but they were really just gunning for those big four games. But there was space in between them. Shut up, let it go. It's past. Let it go. I say Ghost Giant is the next one. Ghost Giant is another kind of Moss-style platformer where you're controlling a little character, but you're also interacting with your controllers. Now, I don't know if this is the with the Move controllers or the DualShock. I'd imagine it's DualShock, because you're moving this little guy around. So maybe you need a thumbstick, surely, but I don't know. But you certainly do have tracked controllers involved with the game that allow you to interact with the world and that kind of thing. So, but it looks fun. Megalith. I don't know anything about this one. What is Megalith? What is Megalith? We don't know. We shall wait as my MacBook Pro from 2009 slowly loads the page. So Megalith, well, there's a picture that looks something like No Man's Sky style graphics. That's not telling you anything by holding that up, but I don't know. That looks pretty. Is it event? Oh, there's a trailer. There is a trailer. Shall we watch the trailer? Is that going to tell you anything? Are you even going to be able to see it? Shoddy. I can't be asked to edit. It's too much effort. It takes fucking hours on my crap setup. I need a new laptop. So that's why it's all like this. Yeah, I don't know anything about Megalith. It looks pretty, whatever that is, I don't know. Space Pirate Trainer. That's another shooter, I think. Space Pirate. I already said there was a Space Pirate game coming out that is called Bow to Blood. Space Pirate Trainer. Is there anything? What is this one? Oh, hang on. Wait a second. This isn't Space Pirate. Oh, okay. Space Pirate Trainer doesn't look like a Space Pirate game. That's Bow to Blood. This one looks like, well, in the trailer, someone is quoted as describing it as like, what's this? Like Han Solo in a bullet hell shooter or something like that. Yeah. So you basically got blasters and a shield, and it's a wave shooter, but it does look really bloody good. I mean, there's a lot of wave shooters on PSVR already, because, you know, the technology is just well suited to it. Of course, light gun games, you have your track controllers, and it's just a perfect fit to that style of game. But if it's a really good one, then I guess we've got room for another. Star Trek Bridge Crew: The Next Generation has some DLC for an existing game. Bridge Crew is really cool. It just takes a little bit of getting into, because, you know, it's a bit different. There's a lot of different commands you need to learn. There's various different posts that you can hold on the bridge. But yeah, it's actually really fun. I'm certainly going to give that some more time at some point. I've delved into it a little bit, and I like what I see. And they've got this new generation DLC, and so yeah, it's all right. Again, but not. I don't think it's a system seller unless you're a Trekkie. Tetris Effect, a psychedelic Tetris game in VR. Yeah, that's fun. Nice, yeah. The Persistence. Now, this could be a big one for PSVR. The Persistence looks like a kind of cyber kind of space set adventure / shooter game. But the unique thing about the Persistence is that it's procedurally generated levels. So every time you play, the levels are going to be different. So that might give it something unique. But there was a demo of that on out a few months ago, and that looked pretty sweet actually. So yeah. So the Persistence could be a big deal, so I'm happy about that. And the last one that they were showing at E3 was Vacation Simulator. So yeah, Vacation Simulator is obviously the next game from the team that brought out Job Simulator, another really popular game from launch. It looks like they've expanded on it quite a lot, and it looks like there's at least multiple locations in each level. It might even be smooth movement. I think I saw some footage of it with them, like smooth movement. I don't know, but Vacation Simulator, yeah. If it expands on Job Simulator, that's fun. It was a really fun game. It's a really good game to introduce people to VR with, because it's just so intuitive. You know, all you're doing is with your move controllers picking things up and interacting with stuff around you, and yeah, no motion sickness, at least in the first game, because you're stationary. So yeah, good, nice. I'll probably get that, definitely. Yeah, so that's the games that were shown at E3, that were playable at E3, sorry. So you still don't have some of those really big games that we are waiting for. Gollum being the main one. Gollum's been a game that, in fact, hang on, let me just rewind a minute. Blood and Truth, I was going to say that wasn't shown, that was in that list, but I don't know if that was playable. Was that playable? Apparently so. Apparently you could book a slot to go and play those demos. So yeah, apparently Blood and Truth was playable, so that's good. I'm really happy to see. I didn't even register at the time, I was running through the list, but I'm really happy to see a playable demo now of Blood and Truth. That means that game is well on in the development process. But we still saw nothing from Gollum. Get back on point. Now, Gollum, yeah, is a game that they've been working on since launch. We were told about this when the PlayStation first came out. PlayStation VR first came out. And so no Gollum yet, but that's coming. I'm sure it's coming. But yeah, so that's a nice little range of games there, but we still missed out on some of those big announcements. We still didn't get a Fallout 3 Anniversary Edition announcement that we, fingers crossed, hoping for. No Bioshock, that was kind of a pipe dream wish list. Possible, and you know, BioWare have been throwing their hat in the ring for VR, so it's possible. But anyway, so yeah, no Fallout 3. What was the other one? Oh, no VR mode for Resident Evil 2 Remake confirmed, which is crazy because, like I said before, you know, Capcom spent a whole year developing an engine just to make their games, to port their games to VR, and using that engine, it then only took them 2 months to port Resident Evil 7 into VR. So if they don't do a VR mode for Resident Evil 2 Remake, I don't know what's going on there. You know, you got to think maybe some of the decisions that are being made around VR are purely financial. I mean, you know, after the first kind of... apparently PSVR didn't hit its projected sales. But I don't know if... Does that really mean anything? I mean, it's leading the market by a country mile. There's more PSVR headsets out there than all other top-end VR headsets combined. And yet it's market leader, and yet it's still not seen as big enough, you know, to pump in these AAA budget, you know, for these AAA games. But I think we have to shift how we look at that, really, because I don't think it needs that, you know, you know, that kind of extra level of graphical fidelity that we're seeing from these big four games like Spider-Man and the other games that they Last of Us 2. That level of fidelity of graphics is wasted on VR. You can't see that amount of detail, you know, because of the resolution being relatively slow compared to what you're normally seeing on a TV. You know, the screens are so close up to your eyes and with a lens. So of course, with current screens, you know, it's a low resolution. So that high-end graphics is wasted on VR. There's no point. So what you really want to funnel your money into is creating a solid VR experience that uses the technology well, that has that immersion factor that we've seen from so many cool games already. So many of these indie studios showing us what can be done with just lower budgets and simpler graphics. But the bones of really amazing VR experiences is there already. The proof of concepts are there. And so yeah, anyway, so thank God to the indie devs. But anyway, just to get back on track, it's not all doom and gloom. There are some really cool games coming for PSVR. It just seems that they're not willing to funnel, you know, big money into developing games for it because it's too much of a risk. And I don't know, maybe they're holding back. Maybe they've got a couple of VR games in the works that they've pushed back and are going to hold for PSVR 2 on PS5. Maybe that'll be a thing. I really hope it's a thing, because this technology is only going to keep getting better. You can imagine with higher resolution, with better tracking, potentially wireless, although I don't really think that's going to be doable in the near future, just because the pure amount of data and the necessity of those games to run smoothly with no frame drops. That absolute necessity to not have frame drops means that I really think we're stuck with wires for VR for the time being. You can't have frame drops because it's one of the things that can make you motion sick, you know. So that's why it's so important that the PSVR runs as fast as it does, and the screen can go to 120 hertz. I think Polybius runs at 120, and it makes a big difference. To have that smoothness really helps with the comfort, you know, to prevent you getting motion sick. So it's a big deal. So yeah, anyway, so what I was saying was that I really hope we're going to get a PSVR 2, because the improved technology can just knock this up another notch, you know. And hopefully it's backwards compatible with existing VR games. But we shall see, because those existing VR games are coded in a higher resolution than you're seeing it. And you can tell this, but of course, when you look at the screen and when you watch the player cam on the telly, because of course PSVR, if you don't already know, if you don't have one, it displays in the screen, but it also displays on your TV, so anyone else in the room can watch what you're watching through the headset. And on the screen, it comes up at a normal resolution. So those games are already coded for that resolution, it seems. You just need a better headset and better technology to be able to push that resolution in headset. Anyway, after that little ramble, I guess that's the end of this video. I'll cut it off here. That's enough. It's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of fun games coming, but Sony definitely did drop the ball at the conference. They could have given it a bit of a nod on the main show. But that's it. So, alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.